happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Nipsey Hussle was murdered in broad daylight outside a clothing store that he owned in South Los Angeles.
The Heart Part 5 is not just a Kendrick Lamar song. It's a projection of a message that is much bigger than himself. This is represented in everything from the song's branding to its music video. The phrase "do it for the culture" has become so popular, but what does it really mean? Does the commercialization of hip-hop and, in the bigger sense, African American culture and entertainment cause harm or good on the people who created it? Kendrick does question his own placement in this culture, wondering if he's doing enough or not doing too much to make a positive change. It's not Kendrick's own voice, but the ideas that steer away from Kendrick's personal spirit that are the most powerful on the track. Kendrick's dangers are the culture's dangers. The only difference between him and anybody else listening is the perspective within all of these conflicts. Kendrick opens up with the line, "A generation of pain where murder is minor." This line isn't just here to talk about Kendrick's upbringing, but it's used to project a cruel fact about the world we all live in. Life is all perspective, and regardless if you live in Beverly Hills or Compton, the frequent level we see destruction of life at has become a minor occurrence in day-to-day headlines. Kendrick's own proximity to murder may be closer than others, which is reflected in the line, "Make the wrong turn, be it will or the wheel alignment." But while not everyone's perspective puts their life on the line based on what street they turn on, the world's problems never disappear. Where the song builds its core idea is at the start of the second verse. Everything is posed through the idea of doing it for the culture. What does this truly mean? And how has the term been affected positively and negatively? Lamar talks about ideas such as murder and adultery, but where the song really takes off is when Kendrick interpolates Jay-Z's 2001 song Izzo and The Bar, how he does it all for his culture. As the music video shows, we no longer see Kendrick as he's reciting this iconic Jay-Z line, but he is morphed into O.J. Simpson. What does this mean? What did O.J. do for the culture? Is this referring to the highly publicized murder many believe he committed? It seems like Kendrick's using this section of the song to show how O.J.'s trial and legacy have painted a bad light on the culture. O.J. fades away, and we see Kanye West next. Lamar is not attacking West, but is using his bipolar disorder to paint how those in your circle can be bipolar, changing up on you based on where you're at in life. West was also chosen here, as many of Kanye's real friends have agreed that he has been used, abused, and exploited by those trying to benefit themselves at his expense. This is an idea people such as Pusha T have supported. OJ is here to remember murder at the highest level of attention, and Kanye is used to show exploitation of somebody. The next person we see is Jussie Smollett, an actor who staged attacks on his own self that were said to be motivated by his racial and sexual identity. Jussie is here for the reason that goes to show how one directly damages the culture through their own selfish actions. The song takes another huge step when we see Kendrick morph into Will Smith and challenge listeners with the lines "In the land where the hurt people hurt more people," and says that this shouldn't even be called culture. This represents the toxic cycle of people being cheated on, people being misused, and then going and abusing other people. Will Smith is used here as his relationship with Jada Pinkett has experienced many troubles, and it's caused Will Smith to be hurt and for him to hurt other people as a result. This all goes to show how negativity and pain is spread throughout the entire culture and roots back to the ideas of adultery that Kendrick mentioned earlier. In the third verse, Kendrick puts his all into connecting the culture through life and death. Kendrick builds on everything wrong with the culture, alluding to all we have lost. There is a lesson to celebrate life and also a theme to live your best life now, so if you don't survive, you will be proud of all you did to better future generations. We see this first reflected through Kobe Bryant, a man who, despite dying tragically in January of 2020, set an example to younger generations to work hard, keep your family close, and never be afraid to take risks. The final and the most powerful face we see on the song is Nipsey Hussle. Kendrick doesn't just project Nipsey's ideas. Nipsey speaks through the voice of Kendrick as his words from heaven come down, and he talks about the day he died and the legacy he'll leave on. Nipsey Hussle adds a fifth chamber to Kendrick Lamar's heart, and we see this as he assures everyone he loved that he's still with them. Nipsey makes a special effort to comfort his kids, wife, and sister. He also talks to his brother Sam, where later in the track he asks him to make sure that his kids watch all of the interviews that he did and keeps the legacy that Nip created going forward. He even talks to his killer, where he forgives him and says the only thing that still needs to be questioned is his soul. This is Kendrick's way of saying Nipsey's nature has taken his fate off your hands, but at the end of the day, this killer will still have to face God. Through Kendrick's voice, Nipsey tells everyone he loves them and doesn't need to be living to show that love. Nipsey's final words revolve around him hoping his neighborhood makes change in the future. It breaks the negative stigmas within the culture. Overall, The Heart Part 5 takes all of these perspectives and puts them into one big view. One speaking from the culture. We learn of the positive, we learn of the negative, and we learn how these forces intertwine. Looking at all that is said here, the next question is where Kendrick is going with this. What will the message of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers be? I do not have the answers to these questions, but I am sure Kendrick will when he releases his upcoming studio album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, on May 13th. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know if there's any other key points I missed in the track. Fantastic hip hop. Have a great day.
Before we got on the stage, we got wind that our brother, our warrior, our soldier, Nipsey Hussle passed away. So we want to take this time out, truly, to give a moment of silence. Can we do that?